the era of Coach Prime, post Shedeur and Travis. What does that look like? The question is, how can Coach Prime take that next step with this team? And how will his approach evolve? Let's be clear. You can't just replace Travis and Shedeur and their explosive plays and the ability to make plays. But I believe there's a plan in motion with that. So Coach Prime has this roster using both high school and transfer portal. He's getting them ready for work. And I just got to say, it's coming together, y'all. It's coming together. We'll just got to see what the time brings. They're up there as of Monday. They started off-season conditioning and strength training. We just got to see what's next. I believe the focus is going to be on the balance, physicality up front. There's noticeable emphasis on improving the offensive line. And he's just not building to compete in the Big 12. He's aiming SEC level type players, linemen, transfer portal players to battle in the trenches. So the offensive line group has, again, got an overhaul. So Coach Prime has been getting these O linemen. And then there's from the way he recruited and the way the transfer porter, and this is his O line. He got Carday Smith, he has Chauncey Gooden, there's high school players, but he also got some big offensive linemen coming from the transfer portal. These are the transfer portals he did this year. This group he's going to demand a lot from this group. This unit has to dominate, not just in their matchups and onto the field. It's going to be more demanding. Offensive line coach is going to be more demanding for this offensive line to produce. So the question is, can they dominate throughout the season, dominate postseason matchups, whether it's in a bowl game or in potential college football playoff? This is the type of line that they needed and they need to go farther in the playoffs or even make it to the Big 12 championship appearance. He knows winning in football in December and January starts in the trenches, and the transfer portal perceives that. So Coach Prime offensively philosophy is switching. He's getting that big, strong offensive alignment, like I stated, SEC level battles in the trenches. So don't be surprised if they're in more personnel. I think the offensive philosophy is more of a pro. So it's going to be more of a pro style. Probably you'll see more tight ends or maybe two tight ends set on the field. The goal is to simply help the run game, improve pass protection, expect more pro style approach. I believe some downhill running, setting up play action, and simplifying reads for whoever wins the quarterback job. Which that right there is going to be the biggest story going into camp. There's a bunch of different things that his philosophy is showing. So when I attended the spring game, the quarterbacks were under center more. Mostly Juju was under center more, but quarterbacks were in under center. There's tight ends. It was more of a pro style offense. So I see that approach. Coach Promp's third year, this is going to tell us from here on out, without Shedeur Travis, particularly without Shedeur, what he's trying to do and how he's trying to build this team. I'm excited for it. I hope y'all are excited for it. While Buff fans, I hope y'all are excited for it. So I honestly think with his switch of philosophy, it's more getting these kids pro ready, not just pro ready, but understanding the pro game. They have the offensive quarter to do it. Pat Shurmur's been in the NFL for many years, and I know his staff has a lot of NFL experience, but I think getting them more particularly ready for the NFL is going to be great for them. More of a pro style win. This type of offense creates clean looks, rolls out the pockets, allows quarterbacks to read half the field when they do roll out, getting the ball to athletes in space. Big question is, which running back will step up and become that workhorse? That could define the identity of this team and of this offense. So now with Marshall Falk, the new running backs coach, coming in, I see there's going to be a lot of downhill running. More of a pro style running game, and not to mention, I believe that he's going to get more out of these kids. Just for the simple fact, he's most Falk Hall of Famer, and he can coach his butt off. He's been doing it for years, even though it's behind the scenes. And I think overall running game should be better, not just with the offensive lines that they brought in, even for the returning ones like a Jordan Seaton and the Tyler Brown and Houston coming back from injury. But I think those guys up there can make a big difference in the running game this year. And some of those in second year with Coach Prime. Tyler Brown's been here for a while, but I think with this type of offense, they're going to probably run with tight ends, and they're going to have more ability to get downhill, maybe some stretch plays, be more creative in the run game. Because last year they weren't creative at all. I feel like they were just in 10 personnel. and they literally just don't read it. And it was, we couldn't do anything with it. Our line wasn't either strong enough or not. And that being said, with the new strength and conditioning coach that they have, Coach Swayze, I feel like they're going to be better and stronger and be suited better for the trenches. And a little thing about Coach Swayze is he was the architect behind all the great players that came out of Miami University, like the Devin Hesters, the Calais Campbells, the Ed Reeds, all those guys, some Hall of Famers, all those guys, and everyone swear by his strength and conditioning. So see you guys now. And now when you see the videos with Waloff and recent people and the pregame show, you can see their bodies changing. You can see that they're working hard. He's making them work hard. He's changing their bodies to NFL bodies. So that right there is going to give CU the edge and take it up a notch for the overall team. So one thing I want to dive into, and this is going to be the big story coming out of Boulder and the Buffs, is what's going to happen in the quarterback room. The quarterback room is going to go down to Julian Juju Lewis and Caden Salter. Okay. Caden Salter is a fifth year senior transferring from Liberty. Great awareness, great speed, understands college football. Without Shedeur, we got to see who's going to replace him in the room. We can't replace a pretty good darn player in Shedeur Sanders, but who's gonna get that starting spot? I don't know. I have my predictions of they're going to play a lot in the season. Both of them are going to play a lot in the season. I just hope that it's not one of those, you get one series, you get the other. Let them establish a rhythm in this before they start doing all that. But honestly, Juju Lewis and Katie Salter, their skill set are similar but different. All right. But Juju is one of the most hyped high school quarterbacks in the nation. He was probably, I think he was either the number 1 or number 2 quarterback in this recruiting class, but he reclassifies. He's supposed to be in the 2026 class, but dropped down to 25. He just wanted to hurry up and get to college early, which he has the talent for it by all means. He has an elite arm, IQ. I'm under pressure. He already looks like a natural leader. You know what I mean? So on the field, he looks like he can control an offense. It's just up to him to perform in practice during camp for him to become the starter. Not to take any away from Caden Salter. He comes from Liberty, putting up huge numbers, showed he can win in big games, both his arms and his legs. So I'm not saying Juju Lewis can't run. I believe he can run. He looks faster than what you probably think. He's able to move around. But Caden Salter just has that a little leg up in, I guess, the scramble and the running around type thing. So this is the Calgary. This is something that I made up, a little chart that just states kind of how I think about these two. Arm strength, I think Juju got some. Mobility, I think Caden has them. Experience, obviously, Juju's a freshman. Caden Salter is a fifth year senior. Last year eligibility, so he's playing for it. He's playing for it all. He's playing to try to get to that next level, so people can see how good he is. I believe coming at Liberty, he's actually a pretty great thrower of the ball. He can scramble. He's just an athlete, but he's also he can throw the ball. I know Lewis has a strong arm. I think Salter has a strong arm too. And then just the upside, I just think Juju is going to be, for the next 3, possibly 4 years, Juju Lewis is going to lead CU. How early is he going to lead CU is pretty much up to him and how he plays during fall camp. Kenny Shelton has this one. He's one and done here. So he's going to have to come in blazing into fall and show Coach Prime and all the other offensive coaches that he's able to not just lead this team, but take over this team and continue where they left off last year offensively. Because last year, they were explosive. Like I said, granted, they had Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horn and Will Shepard and Levante Webster. They had those explosive players. Not taking that away from CU this year. The simple fact is they have receivers. They have an abundance of receivers. They bring back Omarion Miller, Elon Miller. They bring in St. Brown in. They have Nick Williams here. They have, what's his name, Hodge. They have the freshman coming in there, the littler guy. I want to say Gibson, I believe. They have Cam Michael. I'm not sure if he's going to be just a receiver. I think he's going to be all over just like Draylon Miller. But they have playmakers. And then the tight ends they brought in. So if these quarterbacks in this competition can give these guys the ball in space, it's going to be, I guess you can't look at CU as a surprise team, but I believe there are a surprise team because I think everybody is now questioning what happens now since Shedeur and Travis left. So we're going to get to see that. But back to this quarterback situation. But what's at stake for these two quarterbacks? Obviously, this just isn't just a competition. This is about identity. And when I say that is, if Juju wins the job, it's probably looking more structured like a pro style offense. I don't think there's going to be necessarily a pro style and a spread offense. I just think they're going to continue. It's just going to be one offense. It's more of it's a long term upside. And anyway, if Soldier takes over, expect more dynamic, more runs with the quarterback. They have both two talented. They're both talented quarterbacks that can do pretty much anything and everything. Both hungry, both want the starting job. And, Coach Prime has a hard decision when it comes to that whole situation. So I know this is going to be a big topic of discussion throughout Boulder. Fans are going to, shouting from the rooftops, talk about, we want Juju, we want Caden. I honestly, in my personal opinion, I believe they're both going to play. And we're just going to see who wins, or we're going to see how it goes. I know some people say if you have too many quarterbacks, you have none. But in this case, you got the older veteran quarterback in Salter, getting his knowledge and his experience into the game, and maybe Juju will come in and get a couple of reps, get a little rhythm going, have him flash a little bit. So when Salter leaves in 2026, Juju's there to pick up and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be exciting to see how these guys compete against each other. And I know Coach Prime wants them to compete and I guess let the best man win, but he has a hard decision ahead. It's a good problem to have two talented QBs like this in the same room fighting for that position. For those that think that Juju is going to transfer, I don't believe he's built like that. I don't think he's going to transfer. He knows that the keys are his as soon as the Salter leaves. Because I think after Salter leaves, it's all his. It's all Juju or nothing. But from my standpoint is if Juju just continues to get better, and mind you, he's still young. He's only 17 years old currently. He literally graduated a year early. So if he can get used to that speed of the game when it comes to it, and then we can go. Or you never know what may happen throughout the whole year. You never know if injuries might happen. You just don't know. It's football. It's 100% injury rate. You know what I mean? So Coach Prime has that crazy decision upon him, and I just believe he's going to pick the best man. And that's not surprising. So I know that's the biggest story going in the fall camp, because when does Coach Prime make that decision? I don't think he's going to make it up anytime soon. So when we get into fall camp, it's not going to be after 2 weeks, okay, this person started. I think it's going to trickle all the way down to close to a week before the Georgia Tech game. But he probably won't tell us until we'll see when kickoff happens in Georgia Tech. But I don't know if he's going to tell us. But we'll listen to his press conference. But knowing Coach Prime, I don't know him, but from how he is, they're going to compete into the very last minute, and Coach Prime will make a decision. But don't be surprised if both of them play multiple times in the game and go back and forth and somehow try to make that work for the offense. I know they got to have camaraderie and gel with quarterbacks. If we can somehow get this going, I think it can probably work out. And I know most people don't like that whole switching in. You got to pick a starter thing. But who knows what Coach Prime's going to be? He has the experience. He's out of a coach, so I guess we'll see what happens when it comes to that. So whoever gets the starting team, just let's go out there and win some games. So now breaking down the defense. Overall, the defense is great. It was great last year. Well, I can't say great. It was better last year. Colorado's defense was probably the bright spot last season, one of the bright spots. But now the new talent added through the portal and recruiting, the expectations even higher, because I believe they got better up front with the defensive line. I believe that in a whole, defense is going to be better. I think they have more depth in the secondary. I think defensive line got depth. The only question that I have is the linebackers. It seems like we're always missing out, or they're always missing out on that key linebacker, but they got some transfers in. I know they got Hughes, they got French, and those guys look like those linebackers that are going to start. But you still got Brown and a couple other people from last year and that knows this system. So we got to sit back and just look and see what happens at camp. I believe they should take another step, especially with the defensive coordinator that we saved from taken from us to go to the NFL. But I'm not too worried about the defense per se, because I believe that their defense is going to be fine, and they just gotta, the news guys got to step up, and that pipeline from IMG with the one defensive tackle and the other defensive end, Merritt and I think McPherson. I think those guys are going to show up. They're young, but Coach Prime says he don't care if you're young, if you ball, you get in. So that right there. Plus, he still got the core coaches from last year coming back, Warren Sapp and all that. So Coach Prime's 3 years feels like it's a turning point. So without all the people that left, we're just got to see where this goes. The maturation is going to have to happen, and this year overall needs to feel we got to take that level up. So nothing, I feel like nothing less to at least get into the Big 12 championship is a fail. Not just because if you win 9 games again, it's a fail. It's just more that they expect. They got Peggy to the bowl game. Now it's let's take that step up to Big 12 championship. Let's go win that thing. So overall, I feel like this is going to be a better overall team with the overall depth, with the overall players that they brought in. That I believe that the defense will be fine. The overall team's going to be great. They just got to go out there and do it now. I feel like they got the depth to do it. Coach Prime in this 3rd year. This is when your team really takes a big jump. So I believe they're going to take. I know they're going to take that big jump. They just got to do it on the field. And with all new additions to from the portal and the freshman class, even some of the coaches, strength and conditioning coach, I think that's going to level them up to a different type of level. And I know Coach Prime wants to be that dominant team. He wants to compete with those likes of Ohio States and the Alabamas and the Oregons. So I think he's on his way to do so. So this team looks overall a lot better, a lot more depth, and a lot more ready to play. Again, I'm not dissing Travis Shedeur. They're players that helped turn around this program from the depths of 1-11 and terrible since 2016. So I'm looking forward to it this year. I'm looking forward to Coach Prime's year. I can't wait to check out some of the stuff in camp, quarterback battle, the defense, and what I expect from them. And we'll just see how this maturation of Coach Prime's 3rd year is without Shedeur and Travis, which I believe is going to be great. So comment in the sections, just kind of show me or kind of tell me how y'all feel about Coach Prime and Steve Buff's 3rd year, and can they take that next level? Can they take that and level up to the next level to compete for not just Big 12 champion, compete for